Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? At last I hear you say she's doing more videos for Love Island series 11. We are going to get on to it, okay? I am sorry for the delay, but there's certain aspects within my life where I'm either not too well and I'm not up to doing videos, or just work has just got on top of me and I've had to, like, you know, do some putting out some fires here, there and everywhere basically. So yeah, that's where things have been, but I am here. I'm ready to do some videos. I'm ready to catch up with all y'all and see how things all went. So we are now on episode 43. But before we get into the episode, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm on doing videos. Please comment, like, share, and all the good things that you do, because I am trying to get to 1K. Right, so it is the aftermath of the Grafties. And it's also Friends and Families Day. Let me just say that the aftermath didn't go too well at the end of the day. Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't. So Matilda is mad at Sean basically as to why he always has to back Joey. Especially when Matilda is saying that they've had these conversations over and over and over again. Sean supposedly understands what it is that Matilda is saying and where she's coming from. But it seems as though Sean may value his friendship with Joey higher than, you know, his relationship with Matilda at the end of the day. Because although she's saying they have these conversations, it's going through one ear and coming out the next. Because it looks like Showy, that's what I should call them, Showy. Sean and Joey are like a little freaking tag team when it comes to Josh. Both of them just like to try and rile this man. And the situation that unfolded, I think it was in this episode, I will continue to talk about. So Matilda is talking to Mimi and Nicole, and they're all talking about Sean and Joey. And then you've got Ruben and Kieran, who are talking to Josh about Mimi and the terrace antics. We knew it was going to be an issue for Josh, like seriously, because at the end of the day, it did look a little bit iffy with Mimi doing what she did. Do you know what I mean? Yes, we understand she needed to literally have that talk with AO to shut things off, to shut that door and concentrate on who they're with. But it's just the way how the aesthetic of how it looked of her going to the terrace and sitting on the floor. She weren't sitting there seductively, as Joey keeps on freaking saying at the end of the day. Joey is starting to piss me off with that bullshit, because I don't know why he keeps trying to get at Josh and Mimi. But there's a certain reason why Joey seems to think he is the big I am in that villa, because of his name. He doesn't want women to use his name in order to get to know him. He wants them to get to know him naturally. But Joey is not above using his own name and stature within society, within the villa, against people, as we well notice. So basically, Josh is saying he doesn't like how sneaky that did come across. But I'm saying no one agrees with how Mimi went about it. So basically he's saying that it doesn't look all bad. Josh is saying that he could have pushed, like, in terms of when it comes to Joey, push the thing on Joey about Grace if he really needed to, because, you know, Joey keeps on trying to push this thing in regards to Mimi and AO and all this, that and the other, and the man's just like loose lipping it across the place. He really does need to shut up. But Joey's like that with everyone, like seriously. I'm not surprised with how Joey is literally behaving, like not surprised at all. So this is where you see Jesse pull Joey to have a chat with him at first to see how he thinks that night went. And Joey is all woe is me, because now Joey places himself in the land of victimdom, basically. He's become the victim. He's saying everybody's coming at him. He's saying he's tried to be a good friend for people. He's tried to do something nice for Mimi. I'm just like, no, you weren't. You weren't doing anything nice to Mimi. At the end of the day, if Joey was doing something nice for Mimi as a friend, you could do what you're doing. You won't call it a secret mission, because you know what that would look like and indicate to other people. And then you wouldn't blurt it within a game and make it seem like it's something more than. That's what you wouldn't do. And then you wouldn't keep goading Mimi and Josh all the time with that information. You'd be the friend that you are, do what it is that you needed to do. Once that fell through, you'd talk to the person and say, look, this is what's going on. and then shut your mouth and never shall you say anything about that situation again, unless the other people are going to speak about it themselves, because it was not for Joey to let that information out in the slightest. Joey is absolutely selfish. He has no self-awareness at all, and he keeps on going on about Mimi sitting on the floor, and I'm like, my guy. So Jessie asked him where was the reflection on him saying it was a secret mission. Jessie was trying to say to Joey that you still exposed a secret. Whatever secret mission you were supposedly on, you still exposed that secret. And Joey really sat there believing that he didn't expose nothing. And I'm thinking, well, no one was none the freaking wiser until you opened your mouth up in that game, my guy, until it had to twist Mimi's hand to say, do you know what? Don't you say anything. I will actually say what went on and what happened. And that's what Mimi did. This is where you see Jessie literally start getting loud with him because she couldn't get through to him. You see the whole village just go quiet, and they're like, shit, like Jessie's really landing into him. And you know what, no one's going over to save Joey in the slightest. Okay, this needed to have been done. This needed to have been aired between Joey and Jessie. The only thing is with Jessie is she delayed in her reaction, because she should have done that when they were at the table at the Grafties, when Joey and Sean, she could see, were literally trying to bully Josh and Mimi, but not getting nowhere. She should have opened her mouth then, but she didn't. She decides to wait after the Grafties and then do her thing there. And it wasn't necessarily in defense of Mimi. It was literally basically trying to get him to understand his terminology and the terminology he used in that context and the issues that he caused. Kieran said to Ayo and to Ruben and to Josh, but you know how many times he's had to stick up for Jessie due to Joey embarrassing her. And I said, Joey doesn't care about anyone but himself, for real. Jessie keeps being told that this man embarrasses her time and time again. But there are the times where Jessie will co-sign Joey's bullshit. So I have, in that sense, no empathy for her in that sense. Like, really don't. Because she will sit there and co-sign his shit. She will sit there and hug that man, place her head on his shoulder to comfort him when he's still going at other people and they're having to defend themselves against him, against the man that she's with. But yeah, now she wants to cause a ruckus. It just weren't giving for me at all in the slightest. So Josh basically turns around and says that Joey is a prick, and basically said that Joey is messing up his thing with Mimi, but then corrects himself and says, well, he ain't really messing up my thing with Mimi, but he's messing up his own thing with Jessie. I think Jessie does see the troublemaker in Joey, but she's accepting his behaviour, so that makes her as bad as he is. So Joey is still not seeing what is being said. So he turns around to Jessie and says, well, it's so easy to shoot the messenger. And I mean, seriously, when Joey was growing up, who told this boy turning into this man that he could do no wrong? Because this kind of ignorance is next level. Like, seriously, the way that he does not understand what is happening around him and what people are saying to him. Everybody is saying the same thing to him except for Sean, because they're two dickheads together. Yeah. And he really does not get it. He really don't get it. So then Jessie gets annoyed at him and walks off, basically. Jessie's basically saying, as she's walked off, she's like, I'm done, tap, tap, I'm out. And I'm like, at that point, we'll see how true that is, because I'm telling you, by the time dawn breaks, she'll be back on this boy's ass. Ain't no word of a lie, she'll be back on this boy's ass anyway. So she can get as angry as she wants, storms us, say she's done with the man, but she ain't really done with the man, and Joey knows that at the end of the day. So you see Ruben literally go and have an adult, as I say, chat, or try to have an adult conversation with Joey. Joey is saying he don't want to talk, and Ruben's like, okay. He goes, if it's nothing deep, then what is it that you want? So Ruben basically is just telling Joey that, you know what, Jessie brings out Joey in him, not the Joey Essex, but the absolute Joey in him. And basically Ruben is trying to chat to him and say, you need to basically start treating Jessie right and start making her look like a dickhead on screen. I'm paraphrasing, because that's essentially what he's trying to say to Joey, and make him understand that Joey has a good woman there and it's not worth potentially losing her over nonsense, basically. So Ruben is trying to check him. But Joey and his attitude is just clearing up destructive at the end of the day. He doesn't want to listen to any constructive criticism. He doesn't want to listen to anybody giving him advice. And he's all his attitudes about, you don't need to tell me nothing, bro. I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, at that point, I was like, Ruben, you're flogging a dead horse. Joey can't see past his own nose hole at the end of the day. And all I'm going to say is Joey's fully annoying me at this, fully annoying me. And once someone annoys me, that's it. I can't get back the like factor for that person, because I liked Joey when he first came in, because I thought, okay, he's going to be a breath of fresh air. I know how he carried on when he was in The Only Way is Essex, which weren't too bad, and it made him a lovable character. But now, yeah, that the mist has truly opened my eyes. Like, seriously, the veils come away, and I see this person for who they are. They're not a good person. I don't care who says he's not. Even if he's trying to do it for the ratings, yeah, even if he's trying to do it because, you know, the producers had a word in his ear about how they want him to be on this program, even if he's a plant, he's coming off the worst type of person. Like, the worst type of person. I mean, I like him. He's a prick. He is a prick. Anyway, so Joey's turning around to Ruben and saying to him, you don't know my situation at all. I'm like, you see this right here? You see this double standard right here with Joey? He's in everybody's business, you know. He believes his opinion is right and should override everybody else's opinion. But when someone comes to tell him about his clout, about his backside, he don't want to know. Because nobody can know about his situation, but he knows about everybody else's situation. He has a mouthpiece in everybody else's situation, but nobody can have a mouthpiece in his. The man is a walking contradiction. Let me just put it that way. So Joey really said with his chest to Ruben, I've been way more respectful than you. I was like, huh? Come again? And is that why your woman walked off saying she was done? Because Joey was more respectful than Ruben? Is that how it works? I don't know how many times someone can keep dealing with a person that keeps throwing egg on their face. Like, seriously, Jessie needs to stop co-signing this man's bullshit. Like, seriously, she needs to quit defending him and let him hang him out on a limb by himself and let him deal with whatever comes after that. So Mimi said to Sean, basically, don't come over to them when it was Mimi, Matilda and Nicole, like, in the kitchen. And basically they all let him know that they're mad at him, and basically Mimi says she's pissed at him right now. And again, as with Joey, Sean don't listen. He keeps on talking about how, you know, his opinions are his opinions, and he's just made huge assumptions about situations that had nothing to do with him, the same way Joey has made huge assumptions about situations that have nothing to do with them, and then they use that to create problems for others, not realising their own house is burning down around them. Mimi is telling Kieran about himself. Kieran steps in basically and said that it's not a disagree or agree situation. Sean starts agreeing with Kieran, and I'm like, my dude, you're not actually seeing that Kieran weren't bigging you up in any way, shape or form, but making a point. And Kieran rightfully said he believes Sean was stirring the pot to get a reaction, and that's why he's doing what he's doing. All I know is Matilda was sitting silently listening to the exchange, and I'm like, Matilda needs to sit quietly and listen to the bullshit that comes out of her man's mouth. And don't be a Jessie where she abdicates for everything this man says and always wants to put a spin on it or an excuse and say, oh, well, he was only trying to say this. How do you know what the fuck he was trying to say at the end of the day? What he said the first time was what he meant and how he meant it. So for Jessie then to try and put a spin on it like she does with Joey is full of shit, man. Like, absolutely full of shit. You can't keep speaking for that man when he keeps on continuing to do bullshit against people. Like, Kieran was right when he turned around and he said to Sean, okay then, when it ain't happening to you, as in when someone ain't coming at you, it's okay for you to do what you're doing. But when people are starting to retaliate from what you're doing to them, now it becomes an issue. And I said, this is just like Sean and Joey. They both continue to attack people. And when it comes back their way, they don't accept it. They place themselves as the victim, and it's them getting battered by everybody else because all they had was opinions. No, having an opinion on something is literally saying, oh, I don't really like that because of da 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 da, or I didn't really like this because of da 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 da, or I really like that because of da 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 da. That's having an opinion on something. Yeah, if you're having an opinion on how someone's conducted themselves, you go to that person, you sit down and you have that conversation. You say, well, this is just my opinion, yeah, but this is how I saw it. Have that open dialogue. But with Joey and Sean, they don't know the difference between having an opinion and literally basing an assumption on someone, literally battering them over the head with it. Like, that's not having an opinion. It's not at all. It's literally saying, this is what I think, you better go with what I think, and if you don't, then this is what's going to happen. And then when they get it back, when they get the backlash of the consequences of their actions, this is when it becomes, oh, but people are getting at us just because we had an opinion and they don't like to hear the truth. No, it's Sean and Joey that don't like to hear the truth. In actuality, Sean and Joey don't like to hear the truth about it. They don't like, people are telling them till they're blue in the face the truth of the situation between Mimi, between Josh, between Ayo, and even down to Jessica, telling the situation, the truth of it all, yeah. But they don't want to listen to it because they want to go with what they think is right, you see. They want to force their view onto somebody else when it isn't correct in the slightest. And I can tell you, I know a few people like that, let me put it that way. So Mimi and Josh are having a conversation, and Josh is basically saying to Mimi that it wasn't easy for him to watch, and basically saying to Mimi that he wished that she didn't feel the need to hide to have that conversation with Ayo. I mean, we all understood why Mimi sat on the floor. We all understood that she didn't want to get a lot of stupid coming from a never-ending mouth of idiots at the end of the day, which would be Joey and Sean. But hey ho, that's how it went. So basically, yeah, we all know it's a bad move on Mimi's part, but again, we can see where Josh is coming from too. So basically, Josh is just saying to Mimi, and they're both having this conversation, that they just need, as in Joey and Sean, need to stop pressing him on the situation. Mimi does say sorry for how it came about in terms of what it looked like to him on the screen. And basically, he's just saying that he just wants this to be the last time that they revisit it, and for them to have some good communication. Joey's a complete sit stirrer, and I think he enjoys starting fires and using his starting of fires and his malice against Josh, because he ain't doing it in no fun way. Sean is not doing it in no fun or jokey way or having an opinion. They're actually using malice against this man. So Sean again speaking up on Joey's behalf, and Sean and Joey have a lot to learn. They don't ever say anything to anybody's faces, but they've got enough to say to each other. And the only time that them two actually speak up is when it's a group situation. Basically, Matilda's got to the point where she says she can't be asked to speak about this situation with Sean anymore. She's had enough. And it just didn't look good for this night for Joey and Jesse or Sean and Matilda at the end of the day. And all I'm like is, bad mind never prospers. Bad mind never prospers against those who are protected by the ancestors. And all I'm going to say is, draw from that what you will at the end of the day. So then it comes to the daytime, and Joey's still starting off the day being selfish. That Kieran could see that Jesse's still upset by the situation, so he turns around and asks Jessie if she's all right. She says she's good. You could plainly see that she wasn't. Sean and Joey definitely are feeling the after effects of their bullshit, because both their women are not talking to them. And that's the only reason why they're feeling the after effects of the bullshit. Not the fact that they really upset Mimi and really upset Josh by the bullshit that they did, but just because, you know what, it hurt the women they were with, and that's the only reason why they were feeling it. So Sean ends up making Matilda a coffee, and she goes, thank you. It's frosty as hell. So Ruben comes in and gives her a hug. And I was just like, coffee is not going to fix everything, my friend. Not at all. Joey, again, really believes that he didn't stir the pot. Joey is a lost cause. He definitely can't see the wood through the trees at the end of the day. Jessica believed that there would be no drama when it came to the Grafties, and I thought, my girl, you ain't watched Love Island before, because whenever the Grafties happens, there's guaranteed to be drama. Let's just put it this way. So Matilda is still talking about the fact that she hasn't spoken to Sean, and she's tired of having the conversation with him now. She says that she will not be backing Sean because she's in a couple with him. and she will say what is right, and at this moment in time she's backing Mimi fully 100% at the end of the day. Matilda can see the bullshit that Sean and Joey are going on with. She just doesn't understand why Sean has jumped on that train with Joey at the end of the day. Matilda is pissed at Sean for telling her to shut up in the Grafties. That man had a broad back neck bottle to tell this girl to shut up. That was rude, like fully rude and hella disrespectful. But at the time, Matilda did laugh it off, and I was like, yeah, nah, you could not have done that to me, because that dude would have sizzled in his seat with the look I would have given him. And he would have looked around until he asked me what I was looking at, and I said I would have had to said, the person you fucking think you're talking to, because it sure as hell ain't me, my dude. It sure as hell ain't me. So you need to find somebody else to play with, because I ain't the one, the two, or the three. Anyway, so you see Joey and Sean sitting together as they do, because that, you know, they've got nobody else to talk to, because the done pissed everybody else off in the villa at the end of the day. So Sean and Joey are having this chat, and Joey is actually saying, if everyone was like me and you talking about him and Sean and said it how it is, there'll be no BS. I'm like, these two live in the motherfucking Twilight Zone for real. Like, really, it's like complete Delulu land for them two, where it's just them two, where they're the only ones that are right and everybody else is wrong. And they absolutely believe their own hype. Like, seriously. Everyone is saying the same things except for them two, and them two believe that they're the ones that are hard done by. These two literally sat there painting themselves as the victims when they caused all the damage. They both have an issue with Mimi and Josh, and I'm just reading between the lines as to why I think they have an issue with Mimi and Josh, because they literally want to try and override Mimi and Josh at any point they can. They literally want to keep shutting down Mimi and Josh's voices at any point they can, and it happens again. Let me just tell you this, it does happen again, and it riled me up no end. Like, when it happened again, all I wanted to do was literally reach through the screen just so I could get into that place to give Joey and Sean my motherfucking minds, man, because I don't know why they keep coming for them too. Anyway, Jesse is saying to Jessica and Grace that Joey can't reflect on why people are annoyed with him, and that he thinks he hasn't done anything wrong. But half the time, I'm going to say again, with Jessie, she is to blame, because she literally talks for that man sometimes. She literally co-signs his bullshit, and we've seen this at the Grafties when Joey kept coming for Mimi and for Josh, and then for Ruben on top of that. You see the 3 black people within the group, he kept coming for them. Same with Jessica when the situation happened with Jessica. So yeah, she's at times co-signs his bullshit, which don't help the situation. So Sean grabs Kieran for a chat, and Sean says basically that last night got heated between him and Kieran. I'm like, no, it didn't. At the end of the day, Kieran said what he said, and Sean couldn't hack it because he can't talk rings around Kieran either. Sean is saying he still sticks with what he said. And Kieran said to Sean that he only pipes up to stir the pot just to get a reaction. I said some episodes back that the true colours of these people will be shown. I knew Sean was not a quiet and innocent man as he tries to portray himself to be. He's an absolute arsehole. Like an absolute arsehole. And he's not a leader, he's a follower, because he's literally following Joey's lead. So Sean thinks he has never gone out of his way on purpose to harm somebody, but that's what he did. When he followed Joey's lead, that's what he was doing. He was going out of his way to harm somebody, to impact somebody emotionally. That's what he was doing, him and Joey. Sean makes no sense. He says, I've said stuff before that I know he's going to get a reaction, but I still stand on what I was saying. I'm just like, man, you just invalidated your whole point by yourself. And I'm just like, this is how dim these people are that we're dealing with. Like, seriously. Man tried to be clever until him don't. So Kieran, of course, caves, because Kieran can't be asked with the chat anymore, because Sean is definitely not getting it. Basically, Kieran says that they both have mutual respect for each other and apologise for the knobhead comment. You see, I wouldn't apologise, because I'd have been telling the truth in that moment. She was acting like a knobhead, so I ain't going to take that comment back, because I stand by what I said. Matilda feels that Sean is lovely but lets himself down in how he acts. I says, no. In how he acts, my love, that's your man showing you who he is. That's how this man probably acts when he's out on his laurels, out on his onesies, or with his friends. That's how this man acts. So Grace comments that she thinks it's Joey rubbing off on him and not in a good way. That can only last for so long. Sean is meant to be the grown-ass man up in here. We ain't in school no more. And again, Sean don't have a mind of his own and is easily manipulated by others, namely Joey, and that's what Joey can see. Joey likes to manipulate people, and that's what Joey does. He sees the weakness in certain people and who he can manipulate. Now, he can't do it to Mimi. He can't do it to Josh. He can't do it to Ayo. He can't do it to Jessica, and he can't do it to Ruben. He can't do it to Grace anymore, but he used to up to a point. She was easily manipulated by him until Jessie came in, and she's even more so manipulated by that guy. So you see, Family Day starts. Sean's mum and sister come in, and Matilda's sisters come in. Joey really had the bollocks to say, maybe the girls should pull us for a chat and apologise to us. And I was like, wait a damn minute here. I thought, this is why Sean and Joey are a pair of mugs, the both of them, like, absolutely. Sean was basically saying to his mum and sister that he's been crying this week because it's been a tough one. And I said, yeah, of your own making. Of your own making. His mum and his sister didn't really like the chat that he has and thought it was so bad, and also didn't like the situation that he placed himself in. Also with the Casa Amor situation, they didn't like that at all. They actually do like Matilda. Basically, Matilda's family say that they're proud of her. Matilda did tell them that Sean is such a Gary getting bold. Whatever that means. Yeah, he chats too much and is in someone else's business. The sister says that the mum was saying that after the Casa Amor thing, she just thought, yeah, he had his one chance, he messed it up with Casa. Matilda basically says that she trusts Sean, and basically they all meet, they all get on. Nothing more I could say about it then. And at that point, you see Matilda and Sean holding hands, and I was like, yeah, I knew their bickerment wouldn't last that long, to be fair. To arrive was Ruben's sister and his best friends, and Grace's stepmom and her dad. Grace is a complete daddy's girl, which works out in my head as to why she's the way that she is anyway. Ruben's chat was cool with his sister and his best friend, basically. Dad says to Grace that, you know, she comes across really well on screen. Not in the beginning, she didn't. I'm afraid. Not in the beginning, she didn't at all. She has come into her own since she's literally come away from Joey, because Joey's a total arsing prick. And then, of course, as you know, look at how all the others are all at the kitchen looking out at what's going on. And of course, Joey would nip past at that moment. I mean, how much of a plan was that? Couldn't make it too freaking obvious, could ya? So Grace's dad calls him over, and all of the other Islanders are watching, especially Jessie. Her ears perk up. You saw her when she went, oh. So Joey looked hella awkward when the dad called him over, and he started going into some soliloquy about how it ain't nothing deep with Grace. And I thought, what in the hell is that? Basically, you are literally talking to this woman's parents, and rather than apologizing for the shit that you put their daughter through, you want to chat about it ain't nothing deep between you two. This is why Joey's full of shit, man. He ain't shit. I'm sorry, he really ain't, and that's my humble opinion. So Joey really went back to the rest of the Islanders and said, I just got approved by Grace's family. I'm like, brother, where the fuck did you get approved by Grace's family? Because as soon as you moved away, they were chatting your backside like no one's business at the end of the day, ripping you a whole new one up in there. So where Joey thinks everybody fucking likes him when they actually don't. This man has delusion land written all over him. Like, he mystifies me, like, seriously. They do like Ruben. So, you know, Grace likes her black men. Ruben said at first that they think Grace wasn't feeling him. I still don't think she's feeling him. And they said that at this time, she's kind of loosened up. Because she wanted Josh first. But she knew that wasn't going to happen once Josh had set his sights completely on Mimi and made that known. So that's why, you know, Ruben, he's the last one left. So she's going to go for him. So it's the fact that Grace's dad, as she's talking about Ruben, turns around and said about Ruben that he is very articulate. And for those that you know are in the know, the comment in around the connotations of those type of comments for a black person, it's not good. It is kind of a microaggression and enforces a certain stereotype of black people that, you know what, we can't speak eloquently at all. We are akin to always speaking ghetto speak, or speaking some type of speak that's not our natural mother tongue, which is English. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, when people say, oh, you're very articulate, that's not the compliment that they think it is. It really isn't. It's not. So then you see the families go join each other. Joey is proper hawking them when he sees how Ruben is getting on with Grace and her dad and everything like that. But yeah, they liked her and they liked him. So next came in Jessica's mum and friend and Ayo's sister and brother. Ayo ran to his brother so fast that man lost his slipper in the process. Ayo says he feels happy. Jessica saying to her mum and friend that she clicked with Ayo. His brother says that he's 85% happy that Ayo is happy, and it was just the other percentage was just how Ayo was in Casa and how he dealt with Mimi at the end of the day, because he believed that it looked kind of nuts. We all did, my love. We all did. We all believed he was going on dark in that scenario. He said it's good to be able to have those discussions with his brother, and his brother said that his concern was Jessica's need for constant reassurance. Ayo does explain he's happy to do that as it's Jessica, but I'm like, after time, people needing constant reassurance all the time that everything's good, it can kind of start wearing thin after a moment in time. His brother asked him completely if it was done with Mimi, and Ayo did say yes, but then he talked to his brother about feelings wasn't lost, but they kind of went in different directions. And his brother said personally he felt Mimi was a better fit for Ayo, and that the opposites do attract. But I don't think Mimi was the better fit for Ayo. Yes, they got along, like seriously they did get along, but he played with her emotions and her ability to step back and assess things too much. He was always going to go for the next best thing, because with Mimi, Ayo was never satisfied. With Jessica, he's got no choice but to try and be satisfied at the end of the day. So then he did say his brother did say Mimi may not have brought him out as much as Jessica, but Mimi is a respectable girl. But he is happy that Jessica's made him come out of his shell. And Ayo does explain that, you know what, you may think that he didn't agree with his brother in terms of what his brother said about Mimi being a better fit for him. And he actually advocated for his and Jessica's relationship, which was kind of good to see at the end of the day. Jessica's mum and the friend were the chatters in that group when they all got together and had their full family chat. So the big brother did turn around and say that one of his concerns was Jessica needing constant reassurance, and he brought up the Love Me segment that they had on the daybeds. Jessica's friend is fiery. Like, her friend is fiery. She made sure that they knew that Jessica was joking, that don't always take everything that she says at face value, because she can literally mess with you. That's her personality. That's what she's like. Best friend basically turned around and said to Ayo if he had gone up on that terrace that it would have been done. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, there's context to that situation. Yes, it wouldn't have been a good look for Ayo to go up on that terrace, but it would have been explainable in the fact that Mimi was not going to play any games with this dude. She genuinely wanted to talk, but in hindsight is not always 20/20, is it, at the end of the day? So who came in next was Nicole's mum and brother and Kieran's mum and dad. Let's just say that they loved each other completely. And dad says that Nicole is a passionate Welsh Valley girl. He married one, which is Kieran's mum. So ergo, he's gone for the same kind of type of personality that his mum is at the end of the day. And then the families come and meet each other, and Kieran's family love Nicole and Nicole's family love Kieran. So who came in next was Mimi's mum and auntie and Josh's aunt and cousin. They were funny. No, they were too funny. They were your proper African valued family. Let's just put it that way. basically they're already ready and waiting to plan this wedding for Mimi and Josh. Basically they've all said that Mimi smiles and laughs a lot more now that she's with Josh. She didn't like the situation with what happened with Ayo and where things went wrong there. And yeah, they did even who was it I think it was Ayo's cousin that called out Mimi, put her right on blast, the cousin and the auntie, when they said that they watched when Josh came in and Mimi was all, he's really my type. Yeah, he's definitely my type. And Josh said, you said that? And she was like, well, yeah. I says, there you go. He goes, you didn't tell me that. And I says, yeah, because she didn't want to bait herself up. That's why. Not at all. So basically Josh is saying that he has no more doubts at all anymore because he's had the approval from Mimi's family, and the same with Mimi. So then we go to Joey. His sister and Nan came in, and Jessie, her sister, and Dad came in. Joey's gushing, says he found the one in Jessie, says he ain't had a girl like Jessie in years. Dad says that Joey has done well. Joey talks about Grace and that situation. And his sister literally had to tell him, you have to stop talking about your ex in the way that you do. Like, seriously, you have to drop it now. Joey is not going to drop it now because this man is carrying a torch for Grace and will continue to carry this torch for Grace. That's why he chats about her in the way that he does. So my plain thing was, Joey's there saying he's getting all emotional, and I'm like, how can this man cry with no tears? And then he looked dead at the camera. And then as he went to go over and to get Jessie and her family over, he was all smiles, and I'm like, yeah, you playing a game there, you playing a game. So Dad says to Joey, do you know you have someone special, as in talking about Jessie? And I'm like, yeah, that's a warning through and through. Joey says he didn't realise how much Jessie had her back. And I'm like, really? Really? You didn't realise how much Jessie had your back? Because each time you fucking opened your mouth, you weren't the one speaking. Your gal was always speaking for you. Like, seriously, and trying to tell people exactly what it is that you were trying to say. So Joey was told that he needs to show Grace a little kindness. That basically, yes, we all deal with our exes in different ways, but the way he's dogging Grace out needs to stop, and he needs to show her a little bit more kindness and respect at the end of the day. I liked her saying that. So in the next episode, you do see Ayo talking to Kieran about what his brother said about Mimi, and believed that he needed to tell Jessica. I believe that he does let Jessica know, because you do see Jessica each throw to Jessica crying, and Matilda is comforting her. And I'm like, after this, man, everything just really needs to be let go of in that scenario and that whole situation. That is all I'm saying. Anyway, that's where that episode ended. I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. As I always ask, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share, and do all the good things that you do. Because, again, I am on the road to 1K. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Peace out.